All right, so today we have some video notes about Bohr and Lewis diagrams, and your goal at the end of this is to be able to draw Bohr and Lewis diagrams for elements based on their valence electron numbers. So we have done Bohr models before, and the purpose of those is to determine the total number of electrons the atom has. And we can do that by looking at the periodic table and seeing its atomic number, and that is how many electrons it has. The electrons are orbiting the nucleus, which is the positive charge. The electrons are negative. And in our first orbital, which is that inner circle, we can only have 2 electrons. Then in our second orbital here, we can have 8. And in our third, we can have 8 as well. So when we're drawing the Bohr model for silicon, which is right here, we have 14 electrons, and it is in our 1, 2, 3, third energy level. So I'm going to draw 3 circles. Then I have to place all my circles. I have 14, so I'm going to draw 2 in the middle, 1, 2. Then I've got 8 in the next level, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I have 10 and I need 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now it's not the prettiest looking, but it does have all 14 electrons. Now I'll give you a second. Go ahead and pause the video and draw the Bohr model for sulfur. Alright, so the first thing that we did is we checked to see the atomic number of sulfur, and we saw that it was 16. So we are going to be drawing 16 electrons. So let's start. 2 in our first orbital, 1, 2. Then we have 8 in our second orbital, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so we have 10. We need 6 more in our third orbital, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we knew that because sulfur is right here, has 16 electrons, and it's in our 1, 2, 3, third row, so we had 3 energy levels. So those valence electrons are the electrons that are in the outermost orbital. Those can be found based on the group or column in the periodic table. So as you can see here, each group or column has its own number of valence electrons, except for helium right here. It has 2 because it only has 2 electrons, but otherwise our noble gases here, our column on the far right, all have 8, and 8 electrons equals a full outer shell. A full outer shell means that an atom will not be reactive because it has the full amount of electrons, so it doesn't want any more and it doesn't want to get rid of any. So let's pull up our Bohr model from sulfur that we just drew. Now we can actually count our valence electrons, our electrons on the outermost orbital, using this diagram. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Okay, and we can double check that because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sulfur is in the 6th family, so it should have 6 valence electrons. Now I'll give you a second. Go ahead, pause the video, and draw the Bohr diagram for magnesium. Alright, so magnesium is in the 3rd energy level, so it's going to have 3 circles, and we have 1, 2, 3. Now it has 12 electrons, so let's go ahead and place those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 electrons. Now, if we're counting the number of valence electrons, we see on our outer circle we have 1, 2 valence electrons, and magnesium is in the 2nd column, so we are correct. Alright, now take a second and pause the video and go ahead and draw the Bohr diagram for phosphorus. Now go ahead and count and see how many valence electrons phosphorus has. We can double check it by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Phosphorus is in our 5th family in the periodic table, so it should have 5 valence electrons. Now we are going to learn how to draw Lewis dot structures. That is when we only show the valence electrons. This helps us determine things about bonding that we'll talk about later. The dots around the atom symbol represent electrons. They represent the valence electrons only, and they double up after one electron is on each side. So you'll start drawing it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if there's more, then you would couple up like this. So the first step, draw the element symbol, and then draw your valence electrons only. So the octet rule is something that we talked about earlier, where all atoms want to have 8 valence electrons to be stable, and that is what we call noble gas stability. Our noble gases are on the periodic table, and they are super far to the right. So they're like, if this is our periodic table, our noble gases are over here in the very far right column, and they have 8 valence electrons, which means they are super, super stable. And every element wants to become a noble gas and gain more electrons. So hydrogen and helium follow the duet rule, which is basically the octet rule, but only with 2 electrons because they're really, really small elements. So in the octet rule, they will gain, lose, or share valence electrons to achieve a complete octet or duet rule. So 2 elements will gain, lose, or share their electrons, their valence electrons, to achieve the octet rule. So noble gases, like we said, are on the far right of the periodic table. They're in the last column, and they have full outer energy levels. Remember we said helium has 2, but the rest have 8. So they have 8 valence electrons, and these are their Lewis structures here. They have a full outer energy level, which is why they don't react with anything else, and they are super stable. Now we are going to be drawing the Lewis structure for phosphorus. So we locate phosphorus right here. It's number 15. So it would have 15 electrons, but we're only drawing the valence electrons in the Lewis structure. So this is family 5. So we are going to be drawing 5 valence electrons. So let's start 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we can double up 5. Now for argon, we locate argon, and it's over here. It's a noble gas, so it's going to have 8 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the octet rule is different for helium because it is way over here, and you can see that its atomic number is 2. So that means it only has 2 protons, so it can only have 2 electrons. And this is when we use the duet rule instead of the octet rule. All right, so that concludes our video notes. So I hope you are writing down some really good information that's going to help you as we're going through class and studying. Now is a really great time to go back through and circle or write a question mark or write down your questions near anything you didn't understand. And we'll have time in class tomorrow to go over that.